Hello everyone and welcome to a new reading vlog. Before I dive into the books I plan on reading this week, I do actually have a parcel here to unbox with you guys, which was delivered a few days ago. Of course my camera battery has just started flashing at me, so I'm going to switch out the battery before unboxing it. There we go. Sorry if the angle or anything has changed, but yeah, this arrived a few days ago and I've been meaning to open it ever since. However, I thought it would be nice to open it on camera with you guys, and I'm only now getting around to starting this vlog. Okay, so I can see a little note in here, but let's find out what the book is first. There we go, so that's the note. Is it stuck? It's stuck. And we have, ooh, this looks really interesting. Oh, I remember what this is. The author was promoting this book on Twitter and asked if anyone wanted a copy, and I said yes please, and so she's obviously sent me one. This is so cool though. We have a cutout which looks like a diving mask. I love it. So let's see what the actual photo looks like. There we go. I believe that is going to be the cover then. This is The Dive by Sarah Ox. I really hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. Sorry if I'm not. This is so cool. I love it. So on the back it says, the guest list meets the beach in this sun-soaked locked room thriller debut. Escape to paradise, leave your secrets behind, but don't get lost forever. Scuba diving instructor Cass leads her student out for their first dive off the beautiful coast of Koh Sang, Thailand's world-famous party island. It's supposed to be a life-changing experience, but things quickly spiral out of control. By the time she gets back to the shore, one of her students is dead, another badly injured, and she knows that her idyllic life is about to be smashed to pieces on the rocks. Someone has discovered Cass's secret, and on an island as remote as this, accidents happen. Plenty of backpackers choose to stay here forever, but some are never heard from again. Wow, that sounds insane. I want to read this one immediately if I'm honest with you. And I've just noticed that there's some writing on the inside of the cover as well. It says, I realised just how peaceful it can be underwater. A place where no one judges you, where you don't have to be what people expect. My fears always slip away as I break the surface, as the salt water cleanses my skin. But I need to give you a warning before we start. We'll be about 10 metres below the surface. When we're down there, we can't have any joking around. Do not panic if something goes wrong. Keep your breathing as routine as possible. Preserve your oxygen. And most importantly, do not, under any circumstances, panic and swim directly upwards. That sounds terrifying. I love the ocean. I'm terrified of it, but I love it, and I would love to go somewhere like this and scuba dive. It's one of my bucket list things. So I don't know if I should be reading this in case it puts me off, but this is so cool. It comes out in July of this year, so I have plenty of time to read this one. I will definitely read this before the release date and give you guys a review because this sounds amazing. Definitely sounds like my type of book, and of course the author has been so kind. She really didn't need to send me a copy, but I'm so glad she did because yeah, I'm so excited to read this one and see what goes down. Oh my gosh, you guys, I've just read the letter from the author, and this is actually based on a true story, which is terrifying and insane. It literally says, the idea for the dive was born as I was travelling through Thailand. Shortly into my trip, I made my way to the Gulf of Thailand, where I visited the island that would later serve as the inspiration for Koh Sang, the setting for this novel. The island was paradise, a patchwork of stunning white sand, lush jungle and craggy mountains, all surrounded by the most startlingly blue waters I'd ever seen. It was there that I decided to become scuba certified. Like the students in this book, I spent the mornings diving off the island's coast, afternoons hunched over a textbook in the dive resort's open air restaurant, and evenings with my feet in the sand and a fruity cocktail in my hand. Several days into my trip though, I heard a shocking piece of news about the island. Only a year prior to my visit, a pair of tourists had been brutally murdered on the main beach not far from my hotel. Immediately, I tried to learn as much as I could about the murders, ultimately discovering that the island had a long, sordid history of mysterious tourist deaths that had never been fully solved. That is insane. And then get this, she says, in the years that followed, as I became a practicing lawyer and then a law professor, I still couldn't get the island and its history out of my head. The idea that something so viscerally dark could happen in such a paradise struck a chord with me. In the monotonous days of the pandemic, I began writing about that island and what may have happened there. A scene turned into a chapter into a dozen more, and several years later, I'm so happy to share the dive with you. I'm going to want to research this case as soon as I finish the book because, yeah, I need to know the backstory of this. I'm genuinely blown away, you guys. I wasn't really expecting waiting to receive a copy, and then to have this and to have learned all that information is fantastic. And I'm definitely going to read this next month because I just need to know what is going to happen. So a massive thank you to Sarah and her team for sending this my way. I cannot wait to read it, and I will of course give you guys all of my thoughts in a weekly reading vlog and a wrap-up as well. Right, so moving on to the books that I'm currently reading. I am actually in the middle of 2 books, and I'm going to start off with Gathering Darkness by Morgan Rhodes. This is the 3rd book in the Fallen Kingdom series by the same author, and I feel like I've explained the synopsis so much to you guys, but it's essentially about a group of 4 characters, Cleo, Lucia, Jonas and Magnus, as they are thrust into an oncoming war. The lesser 2 countries in this land have grown a bit restless. They want to take over from the prosperous country essentially, and so they do come together to plan an attack. These 4 characters do have to make some morally difficult decisions that will either help to aid in this war or will stand against it. So of course this has a lot of politics involved. It has a lot of different pieces that are being moved in order to further people's goals. And yeah, we see how our 4 main characters' lives are connected and impacted by what is going on. As well as that, there is another subplot. We have a magic subplot in here, which I love. It's called Elementia, and as you can imagine, it focuses on the 4 elements, which are water, fire, earth and air. And long ago there was a prophecy that a sorceress would be born that could restore magic to the land. Now, as you can expect, magic in this world is slowly dwindling. Witches are being prosecuted, and there are people known as the Watchers who are essentially immortal beings who are dependent on this magic source. They have been trying to find the kindred for as long as they can remember, which is the source of this magic, but have been failing. However, with the appearance of this sorceress and with all the political things going on in the world at the minute, they are starting to believe that they are getting close to finding this. But it does soon become a race against time for the Watchers and the humans as well. Don't want to say too much because I don't want to spoil anything for you guys, but this is fantastic. You guys know I've fallen in love with the books in this series so far. This is only the 3rd book, so after this I will be halfway through the series, which is crazy to me. I resisted picking this up as soon as I finished the 2nd book. I don't need to go into how stressful last month was for me, so I didn't actually end up picking this one up. I did start reading this one yesterday though, which was the 4th of April, I want to say. We're only a few days into the month and I can't remember what the date is already, but I finished my current job on Friday. I had my leaving due on Friday. Saturday I was feeling a little bit sorry for myself, so didn't really do much. Sunday was my niece's 6th birthday, and then yeah, Monday is when I started this one. So that was a lot of background information, but essentially I'm up to page 86 of this. I'm on chapter 8 and I really am enjoying this one. It kind of leaves off like you're in the middle of a chapter. There haven't been many cliffhangers or anything like that. It's just kind of carried on, and I believe that the story is just going to carry on through these next few books, which surprisingly makes me want to read it even more because I'm just so immersed in that world and what the characters are doing that I just want to be reading these books. And so I've definitely felt like that has worked well for me. At the minute nothing much has happened. We're seeing our characters become more and more adept at this war playing game, if that makes sense. They are definitely not as naive as they were at the start of this series. It's definitely nice to see some character development. Sorry if Kiwi is making noise or moving the camera. I honestly have no idea how the rest of the series is going to go. I'm not sure what the overall resolution is going to be, but I'm here for it, you guys. I'm just here for the characters. I'm here for the magic system more than anything, and the politics behind it all and how everything is connected and interplays is really intricate and does fascinate me too. So at the minute I'm having an amazing time with this one. And then the other book that I've started is one that I'm currently listening to via audiobook, and that one is 9 Liars by Maureen Johnson. Now this wasn't even on my April TBR, so at the start of the month I'm straying away from my TBR, which is typical of me, but this is one that I wanted to get to last month, and because I was just so busy and stressed I didn't get a chance to do so. I have decided now though to prioritise this one because I have loved every single one of the books in this series so far. There are 3 books in the core trilogy, then there was a sequel article that was released that was separate to the events of the third book but carried on following the same characters, and then this one is the newest release, which again is in that same vein where we're following the same characters but it's a different mystery. Essentially in this one we are following our main character Stevie, and at the start of this book all of her friends are too immersed in their college applications to actually want to spend time with her. She feels a little bit lost because her boyfriend has moved to London as well, so she is very much in her own head and is feeling quite lonely. That is until her boyfriend actually suggests that she comes over to London for a week abroad with all of her friends so that they can all get together again and have a catch up and go and explore a new city. Once they are there though, Stevie's boyfriend introduces her to one of his friends, Izzy, who then tells Stevie about an unsolved double murder. And it just says, in 1995, 9 friends from Cambridge University went to a country house and played a drunken game of hide and seek. 2 were found in the woodshed the next day, murdered with an axe. The case was assumed to be a burglary gone wrong, but one of the remaining 7 saw something she can't explain. There was no break-in. Someone's lying about what happened in the woodshed. What I love about this book is that it's dual timeline. So we have current day where we see Stevie and her friends doing whatever they're doing, and then we also have the timeline where we follow the group of 9 characters where you see the murder being committed essentially, and it's this kind of connection between what Stevie's finding out versus what we find out as readers through these chapters. It's so good and so well done that I genuinely hate putting this book down. As I mentioned though, I am currently listening to the audiobook, so I've got it on Scribd and I think I have about 4 hours left according to this one. Yeah, 4 hours and 19 minutes left. I'm listening at 2 times the speed, which is my normal listening time, and as I mentioned, I'm just having such an amazing experience with this one. I feel like it's going to be a new favourite. I will definitely be trying to solve the mystery myself, but straight from the get-go there are so many questions. We are of course in a new setting. The fact that there were 9 people involved in this cold case is also a pretty substantial number, so I'm sure that we're going to have a lot of suspects and theories, and yeah, I can't wait to get further into this one. I am actually going to be listening to more of this tonight because I'm starting with a coach tonight, you guys. So you may know that I am into my fitness. However, recently I've been wanting to change not only my body but my mindset as well. Now, I've always been fit. I've always been doing a lot of different activities, but I am making my way into weight training again. I've tried going to the gym, I don't know how many times. I just get way too anxious and I feel like I don't actually know what I'm doing. And one of my old work colleagues, I used to work at a place called DW Sports. It has since closed here, but I used to work there, and I used to work with this guy as well who was training to become a PT. We got on so well. He was such a good friend to me there, and a space popped up on one of his coaching groups. So I gave him a message, kind of explained what I was wanting in my fitness goals, and we've sorted out that I'm going to be joining some group classes starting tonight. So it's going to be a mix of weight training and cardio. It's going to be intense, but I feel like that is what I need. I need to challenge myself. I need that knowledge to help me achieve what I want to achieve. I need someone there to look at my form. I need someone there to help me with my macros and things like that, and essentially just make me feel more comfortable in a gym, which I definitely feel like Luisha's going to do. So that is happening tonight. I probably won't film anything because, as I mentioned, it's a group class. I feel like there are going to be some very fit people there and I'm not going to be one of them. I have been doing workouts at home. I have been going to Dance Fit and badminton, as you guys know, and I have been trying to do Couch to 5k. It's very difficult though because of how busy I've been and the weather, so I'm really happy to have a constant thing now. I've signed up for a month. I probably will keep it going after that as well, just because I feel like going somewhere, paying for a coach, it's going to help me be accountable, and yeah, I'm just going to show up, smash it, and hopefully achieve my goals. So I'm going to take you guys along on this journey with me. I don't know whether to do dedicated videos for it or what. I do have a fitness Instagram if any of you guys want to follow that. It's just rhiannon.fitness. I will of course leave it linked down below for you guys, and I will pop it up on screen so that you can search it if you want to as well. I'm definitely not an aesthetic person, so my feed is not going to be like the influencers that you've seen before. I'm just going to be me, going to be real, and it's just a way for me to keep myself accountable and let you guys know what I'm doing as part of my personal fitness journey. So yeah, that is happening tonight. The class is at 7. It's currently just gone 5, so I'm gonna have to get myself ready in a bit. I do feel like though I'm gonna sit down first and try and read a little bit more of Gathering Darkness. It's such an easy book to fly through, so I should definitely read about 40-50 pages, and then I will of course be listening to 9 Liars on my way to and from there as well. I'm really sorry, I feel like this has been such a long intro. I feel like all of my vlogs have long intros because I just sit down in front of the camera and everything comes out. So I do apologise about that. I will probably try and put some b-roll in now though, because as I mentioned, I'm just doing a few bits and bobs and I'm going to the cinema. I can't remember if we said tomorrow or Wednesday to watch the 4th John Wick film, so I'll take you along with me for that as well. And then yeah, when I've made a further dent in these books, I will of course pop on here and chat to you guys, but for now I'm gonna stop because you know I can ramble on for a while and get myself ready for tonight and try and read a bit more as well. So much like room. Just tastes like, oh, now I'm gonna kick. Tastes like salted caramel popcorn with a kick. Right guys, I have some reading updates. I am also filming in my conservatory, which I used to do a lot when I first started my channel. However, I got my bookcases and I just thought that they looked better as a background. But to be honest with you guys, I'm kind of vibing this today. The conservatory is so bright, and as you saw in my last clip, it is a stunning morning this morning. It is so sunny. Deceivingly sunny though, as you can tell by my jumper. I came down in a t-shirt, opened the door to get some fresh air, and was frozen. So that is the reason behind this outfit. But as I mentioned, I do have some reading updates for you guys. The first is that I have actually finished 9 Liars. So I finished this yesterday. I almost read the whole thing in one sitting, to be honest with you guys. But for some of you who don't know, I recently left my last workplace. My last day there was the Friday before the Easter holidays, so about a week ago now, and I went into that school yesterday just to clean up the class, make sure everything was neat and tidy, make sure I had everything that I'd bought for myself there as well, so that I can then of course take those to the new school. So I was there for a few hours actually. I wasn't expecting to be, but I put my headphones in, put on the audiobook, and yeah, as I mentioned, I flew through it. Unfortunately for me, I feel like this is my least favourite book from the Truly Devious series so far. I feel like everything was quite rushed. The main character was really whiny throughout the whole thing as well, which to a certain extent I get, but the way that she put herself in front of everyone else that actually were dealing with so many problems was just so selfish, and yeah, it kind of felt a bit out of character, to be honest with you. So the main character was a bit hard to read from. In this book, she kind of took advantage of her friends. She manipulated certain situations in order to benefit herself, and yeah, I just didn't really enjoy reading that, to be honest with you guys. The side characters though were fantastic in this. I'm not going to spoil anything, but one of the characters does come out as Ace, which is fantastic to see, of course. I feel like that was done very well. It wasn't really made into a massive thing, but it was important enough for that character, and the way that it happened I feel like is very representative, I want to say, of them and their character. The mystery in this was a little bit, I don't want to say confusing, that's not the word. It was just a bit all over the place, to be honest with you guys. We actually have 2 mysteries in here, which you don't find out the second mystery and the links to that first mystery for a while. I do love the dual timeline in this. I think I mentioned that in the previous clip. I love having 2 of these stories go on at once, where you see the murder as it happened back in the day, and then you see what is happening with Stevie and her friends currently. That worked really well, and I really did enjoy it. How it all came together at the end, I feel like again was a bit rushed. I would have liked to see things be explored a lot more, because this book ended and I was still left wanting more. The way it ended as well, again, kind of goes against the characters that I know and their personality, and I don't know if it's gone on too long now that Maureen Johnson just wants to kind of throw things in for shock value. It definitely has me intrigued for the next book, but there was just so much drama in this that didn't need to be there. I love the friendship dynamic throughout the first core trilogy and the Box in the Woods as well, but this was just not it for me. And the more I'm speaking about it, I feel like I should give it 3 stars. I did end up giving it 4 stars on Goodreads after I read it. However, now that I'm sitting on it, I don't know. So who knows, my review might change before my wrap up, but currently it is a 4 stars. I love the writing style, love the dual timeline. Of course, the mystery element was really intriguing to me. It was interesting to see how 2 separate mysteries came together to be relevant at the end. It was just the fact that these characters seemed to suddenly change their personality and everything felt quite rushed in this one for me. And then Gathering Darkness, I haven't read as much of this as I wanted to, which is really frustrating because I was like, oh, Easter holidays, I'll read loads. I haven't so far. I've read 1 book. So my goal today is to sit down and finish this. I definitely feel like I can because I tend to read this in chunks of about 100 pages. It's so easy to fly through, so that shouldn't really be a problem for me. As I mentioned, it's a lovely day. It's Good Friday as well, so we're not really planning on moving anywhere. I think we might go out and get fish and chips later as a little treat for ourselves, but other than that, my plan is to sit down and read this. Now, I am being hard on myself. I know that I have actually been quite busy. I've filmed about 6 videos this week so far. I've edited 3 of them. I've also been to my old school to kind of pack everything up, so really I haven't actually had as much time as I thought I did this week in particular. Not sure how it's going to be next week. I am going to have to start prep for the next term in my new school, which is probably going to be time consuming as well. But I was meant to film more videos today and edit. However, I decided to prioritize reading just because I really do want to finish out this story. I am loving it so far, as I knew I would, and I just need to relax, you guys. I am planning on filming a murder mystery reading vlog this weekend. I have just asked everyone on Twitter and Instagram whether they want me to read a specific series or 3 standalone mystery thriller books, so we'll see what the outcome of that poll is. I am kind of feeling standalone books at the minute just because I feel like dedicating myself to a series is not going to be the smartest thing, so we'll see. But I'm normally too busy to film proper vlogs, so the fact that I have another week off now, I would like to get some vlogs out for you guys, so that is what I'm trying to do. I don't know whether to read another book for this vlog. It definitely hasn't been the longest one so far, so I might do that, and if I do, it will be Poster Girl by Veronica Roth. Depending on if I can read this quickly though today, I might start that tonight as well. We shall see, but that is the plan for now. I'm not going to start anything new on audio. I'm going to carry on with Ruin of Kings, which if you've seen my TBR, you'll know that that is a book I started but never finished. So I have started re-listening to that. I just started it from the beginning completely, so that is something that is happening, but again, I want to try and focus that in a particular vlog, so I won't talk about it more than that here. But yeah, I'm loving this book. Again, I can't tell you too much because I don't want to spoil anything, but we are seeing a lot more of the magic in here now, which I'm loving. We're seeing more and more acts of rebellion from different characters and rebels, which is really interesting here as well because a lot of the people are being oppressed, but sometimes it is easier to just obey someone than to go against them. So it is nice to see that some of them do still have that fire. We have a Watcher who is a magical being in this world that has come into play now, and that's going to change everything, so I can't wait to see what that actually does. And yeah, I'm super excited to carry on with it. I'm about halfway, and that is the plan for today essentially. So Tom's currently on his Xbox. You may be able to hear him in the background, sorry if you can. It's currently 10:30 in the morning, and I think Sean, who he's on his Xbox with, is going out for lunch today, so I have until then to read as much of this as I can. I will probably update you before we go out for lunch if we do end up going out for fish and chips, as I mentioned, and yeah, I will let you guys know how far through I am at that point. Hopefully, as I mentioned, I can finish this. That would be amazing, but we'll see because I just do get distracted. I'm really trying not to be as distracted, but I can't help it, guys. I just lose my focus, but I might stay in here to read. That might keep me away from the distractions of Tom and his Xbox and all that jazz. So yeah, I think that's the plan. I will just speak quickly about John Wick as well, because as you saw in my B-roll, we did go and see that on Wednesday night. It was in the end. Tom and I are Cineworld Unlimited members, so we pay a monthly fee, and then technically the films you go to see are for free. Ads and Sean had Meerkat Movies, and so it ended up being really cheap for all of us, and so we just decided to go. Now, I love the John Wick films. I've seen each and every single one, except for the first one. I can never watch the bit where the catalyst happens, which if you know, you know. If you're not, I'm not going to bring it up because it's really sad. So I haven't seen that bit once because I refuse to, but this film was really good. I definitely think it was long. I think it's almost about 3 hours. So our showing started at 8:30 and I didn't get home till after midnight. So it's safe to say that I was knackered. There is a lot of mulling around, I want to say. I feel like if you're familiar with the John Wick films, you'll kind of know what I'm on about. There are so many action scenes. It is so fast-paced in that sense, but then nothing's actually happening. In this one though, we do kind of have an end goal. I did kind of predict what was going to happen, and yeah, the ending really got to me actually. It was lovely and I'm really happy with it, but yeah, I did cry. We're obviously 4 films in now and I'm just connected to every single character. I really do want them to be okay. And of course, in an assassination type of film, people aren't going to be okay. So yeah, that was really sad. Loved the film though. I feel like if I watched it in the middle of the day, it would have gone down a bit better just because my brain was fogged. I had been up since 7 o'clock that morning because I was babysitting my niece, and so I was definitely tired. But as a film, it was really good. I did enjoy it. I really hope they don't make another one now because I feel like that would ruin it. But if you do love John Wick, it's a good film. I would highly recommend it. We do kind of get closure, which is nice. And yeah, it was a really solid ending to a fantastic franchise. So I would highly recommend that if that is something that sounds like your type of thing. Once again though, I've rambled on for way too long, so I am going to end this clip here. I'm going to sit down now and read, and hopefully when I next update you, I will have finished the book. Right guys, you are on my dashboard, so if the camera falls over, I apologise. But Tom has just gone to get us some fish and chips. Q and A are in the car waiting. I will go out and help him in a second, but I thought I should update you guys quickly because I did finish Gathering Darkness. I had a complete blank of what the book was called then. I have just finished Gathering Darkness, so it's currently 1:20 I'd say we left the house about 10 to 1, so I did finish it literally seconds before we left the house. I was determined to. So happy that I did. I give it 4 stars. It was such a good book. I think I've mentioned previously my main issue with these books is that they are quite convenient. Things happen really quickly and it solves everything for everyone, and yeah, it's a little bit unbelievable at some points, but then again, it is an older YA fantasy. The writing is so easy to fly through. As you saw, I read 200 pages in like less than 2 hours there, so that's good going for me. The romances, as I've mentioned previously, not my favorite thing. They are completely out of the blue most times. Every character falls in love with every single other character, which is fine if that's what you want, but yeah, it's a little bit unbelievable and just kind of eye-roll worthy at some points. The plot has definitely moved forward now though. Key characters have done certain things that have progressed it, and that mean that in the next few books now, the pacing should hopefully increase a lot more and things will actually be happening, because a lot of what's happened at the minute is just people moving around trying to figure out what needs to be done, whereas it's kind of happened now, which I'm really happy about, and hopefully, as I mentioned, we will see that plot move forward because of it. So that is pretty much all I have to say about that book. I did really enjoy it, but again, not the full 5 stars for me. I really hope that one of these books is going to get 5 stars. I really want to give one a 5 stars just because I've really enjoyed my time reading these books. They're just not the best written books ever, which is unfortunately what has been letting them down for me. I didn't expect an amazingly written, intricate YA fantasy going in. That's not what I wanted from it either, so it's definitely not anything to do with the book or my enjoyment of it. It is just the fact that things such as the romances are a bit unbelievable, and yeah, it's just, I need to suspend my disbelief a little bit with things, but other than that, I'm having an amazing time and I'm so glad to have finally read the 3rd book. I think what I'm going to do is, once I get home, I'm actually going to start Poster Girl straight away, and hopefully I can read the whole thing because it's a very short book actually, and if I keep up this reading pace I should definitely have it finished by tonight, which will be fantastic. First up though, we're gonna have a chippy, we're gonna take Kiri for a walk, and then we'll probably go see Tom's parents because they live not too far away from us at the minute, and yeah, those are the plans for today essentially. I do need to edit at some point, but I am determined to finish out another book for this vlog. So that's the plan. I'm being very ambitious, I know, but hopefully I can start it as soon as I'm home, and I will update you guys with my thoughts later on. Got the goods, guys. Ooh, looks lovely. I haven't finished another book for this vlog, you guys, because I ended up DNFing Poster Girl. So it is now the 9th of April. It is Easter Sunday, so happy Easter to all of you that celebrate. I've just finished making a roast, which is why I look so red right now, and is why I'm in the kitchen, because I'm about to make myself a mug cake, which I thought I'd just film whilst I do that. But anyway, off topic, I had my chippy as you saw. It was lovely. We went for a walk with Tom's mum. His dad had gone fishing, which is why he wasn't with us. But then we came home and I started Poster Girl straight away. Now, about 16 pages in, I was thinking of DNFing this book. I was just really struggling to get my head around the writing, and the information we were getting was quite dense. And I did also have a really bad headache, so I thought that it was kind of something to do with that. However, I lay on the sofa for a bit, watched a few videos, went back to this one, and I made it up to page 84, so I definitely gave this book a good go. I actually stopped in the middle of a chapter, which is not like me, and that just tells you guys how much I wasn't wanting to read this book. I was going to temporarily DNF it because the mystery in this does really intrigue me, but to be honest, I just don't know if it's worth my time, guys. I really struggled. Dystopia isn't really a genre that I read from a lot, and this was my chance to kind of change that. I really wanted to dive into this and see what it was like. However, yeah, I don't know if it was the writing. I've never read anything by this author before. If you guys don't know, Veronica Roth is the author of the Divergent books. I never read them. I watched the first film, wasn't a fan, and so never carried on. But yeah, I don't know if I just didn't gel with her writing style or what, or if it's just the fact that I'm not used to reading dystopian books, and that's maybe what threw me off a bit. I was definitely getting more and more into it. However, again, I don't know if it was my headache or the fact I just wasn't wanting to read this, but I really did struggle. So I'm calling it a DNF. Whether I come back to it at the end of the month or not, we shall see. I am about a third of the way through, and here is my problem with DNFs. I've already invested so much time into reading the first third of this book that I might as well read the next 2/3, but that's not a healthy thing to do. So please do let me know if you guys think I should pick it up again. I'm not going to for this vlog because I'm just feeling it today. I feel really run down today for some reason, so this is definitely not a high priority for me. It is a shame, as I mentioned, because I thought it was going to be one that I would enjoy, but unfortunately it just wasn't for me. So essentially we have our main character, Sonia, who lives in a kind of prison, I guess. So years ago there was a revolution. She was the face of this revolution, and now she is known as the Poster Girl, and they essentially tried to overthrow their government. Now this didn't work, and the people that were involved were put into this segregated space that is essentially a prison. They are watched, they have to kind of fend for themselves, and yeah, it's just not a great place. And so one day one of these big government officials comes to see our main character and offers her a kind of deal, I suppose, in which she has to find a missing girl that was stolen from her parents by the old regime, and if she does so, she will earn her freedom. So the mystery element of this is definitely what kept me going, and it's what will bring me back to this book if I ever turn back to it. It's very interesting, and I would kind of like to see how it goes. However, I just feel like this was very disjointed. One minute we were doing something, the next we were doing something else. Characters just kind of appeared out of nowhere and left me really confused, and so yeah, unfortunately it's a DNF for now. Again, let me know whether you think I should carry on with this. Is it an amazing book and I just haven't given it enough time? I don't know. But for now, I am going to DNF it, and I'm really sad to be closing off this reading vlog with a DNF because I know I mentioned previously that I was like dying for a 5-star read. It didn't happen, it got worse. As I mentioned though, the reason we're in my kitchen is because I would like to make a mug cake. Now I recently placed an order on My Protein, which as you can imagine is a kind of supplements website. I have signed up for a coach as I mentioned, and I was taking protein anyway. Like, I don't know if you can see my cupboard in here, but I do have some protein powders and things there. So they are things that I use, and obviously now with me being with a coach, I've had my macros assessed and things like that. I do need to up my protein a bit, and honestly I just want a mug cake as well. So this is the one I got. It is a salted caramel one. It looks really standard to be honest with you, but the thing I'm fuming about, right, look how big this packaging is. This is the amount of product we get. This is not worth all that packaging. Like honestly, this amount, look at that. Isn't that pitiful? I thought we were gonna get it full to the brim, but apparently I'm not allowed that many mug cakes. I've never tried one of these before, so yeah, I just thought it'd be fun to do it on camera. You guys can laugh at me if I do it wrong, but this doesn't really smell of anything. I guess I should weigh it out though. You're meant to have 50 grams of the protein mug cake powder with 70 ml of either water or milk. I'm gonna go with water just because it's a few less calories, which I haven't really been too restrictive with. However, I have eaten some chocolate today. I've just had a big roast as well, so I just think water will be the best option for me now. Maybe that's the horrible option, probably is, but I do take most of my protein shakes with water, so we should be good. Okay, I'm gonna see if 1 scoop is 50 grams because that means I wouldn't have to weigh this again when I do it. Yeah, pretty much. Fab. Okay, let me get my mug. I think I'm going to go for this one, which is my Disney princess mug. Obviously it's a Christmas one, but we love the princesses all year round. And yeah, you just put the powder straight in. I will get my water now as well. Oh, I've chosen a rubbish jug for this, guys. It doesn't really give me a good measurement. So I'm not gonna accurately do this. It's going to be roughly 70 mils. Okay, it looks grim right now, I'm not gonna lie. Where's my spoon? Spoon acquired. I'm just gonna mix it until it becomes a paste, and then I need to microwave it for 40 to 50 seconds until the cake rises. So this looks a lot more promising. It looks a lot more like batter now. I will try and show you, but it might not mean anything to you guys. So that's, ooh, I don't want to spill it, but that's what it kind of looks like. And I'm just gonna pop it in the microwave now. So I'll show you what it looks like in a sec. Okay, it definitely doesn't look the most appealing and it kind of almost exploded in the microwave, so this is what we're left with. But I am also going to pop a block of this Lindt sea salt caramel chocolate in there as well. I have been munching on this a bit throughout the day, so might as well finish it off strong. This is amazing though, and if you guys don't know, salted caramel is the way to my heart. I absolutely love any chocolate that is salted caramel. Sea salt is even better. Oh, it's time for bed. And yeah, I'm just gonna pop this there. Oh, it's quite stiff. I don't know if I've done that right. So there we go. Hope this was exciting for you. This is my mug cake, and whilst I wait for it to cool, I will just wrap up this vlog. A lot of you guys have commented saying that you'd like to see me do other things and see what I eat and things like that, because I do tend to meal prep. And yeah, again, now with me being with a coach, I am going to be a lot more aware of what I eat. So hopefully this was fun for you guys. I do have a referral link for My Protein that I will leave linked down below as well if you do want to check out their website and purchase something. I'm not too sure what it means, to be honest with you, but I just think it shows that you came through my link, and so the more people that click on my link, the better, to be honest. So yeah, you don't have to, but it's there if you would like to. Going back to the books though, we had 2 4-star reads and 1 DNF, which it could have gone worse, to be honest with you, but yeah, very disappointed about Poster Girl. Who knows if I will get back to it. Really did enjoy 9 Liars and Gathering Darkness though, and I can't wait for the next Truly Devious book or the next Falling Kingdoms book, which is Frozen Tides, and I should definitely be reading it next month. So keep your eyes peeled for that. For now though, I am going to end this clip here. If you have made it up to this point, please go ahead and leave me a mug emoji or a cake emoji, because a mug cake is a mix of both. I say it all the time, but seeing you guys comment the emoji of the video truly does mean the world to me. It genuinely baffles me that you guys want to watch these all the way through, and I truly do appreciate it. So if you are still here, please go ahead and comment that. As well as that, please don't forget to click the like button if you like this video, and the subscribe button if you'd like to see more content from me. But that is it for me today, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you soon in my next video. Goodbye!